Hello students, I welcome you back to this virtual classroom with me. I'm Shampanchal from Taksh-Shila Model Senior Secondary School. So students, I'm back here with the part number 2 of your chapter number 14 that has been taken from your English grammar books. And the title of the chapter is Tenses. So students, basically today in this lecture we are going to discuss part number 2, right? The part number 1 we discussed in the last video, right? So in this video we will discuss part number 2 of tenses, and in this part number 2 we are going to read which tense? We are going to read the past tense, right? So past tense is the topic for today, and when we talk about past tense, the thing that comes in our mind is the action or the event that is not in our hand today, right? So past tense basically refers to the time which is not present before us, right? It refers to a time which has actually passed, or the event or the action, right, has become a thing of the past, right? So वो चीजें जो बीत चुकी हैं, that is called past tense, right? Let me just give you an example. For example, I am teaching you. This is an action which is going on in the present time, right? So we call it present tense. If I say that I taught you the present tense in the last class, so here when I say I taught you, right, so I refer to which tense? I refer to past tense. Means this is the action which we performed when in the last class. So जब हम past की चीज़ों की बात करते हैं, right, so we just need to work with what? Verbs or helping verbs, right? In the present tense topic, जो हमारा topic था present tense, I told you कि the verb or the helping verb which is used in a sentence, right, plays an important part, and this is the part of the sentence which determines the tense of the sentence. यही वो part है जिससे sentence का tense भी determine होता है, right? So students, now let us move on to our topic, past indefinite tense, because in the first video of tenses in which we discussed present tense, I told you about present indefinite tense, present continuous tense, present perfect tense, and present perfect continuous tense, right? In that video I also explained it to you what is the difference between each type of tense. I mean, if it is indefinite, continuous, perfect, and perfect continuous, right? So now we just do not need to go into details because the first video is enough for all these things, right? But in this video we are just going to work with the verbs or helping verbs, right? Now we have understood the context of tense. Tense का context हम समझ चुके हैं, मैंने इसको पहली वीडियो में आपको explain कर दिया था, right? So इस वीडियो में तो हम केवल अपनी verb पर जो है work करेंगे कि past indefinite tense में actually हम क्या करते हैं, right? So here I have written past indefinite tense on board, right? So students, past indefinite tense is also known by the name simple past tense. It is also known by the name simple past tense, right? So simple past tense, either we call it simple past tense or past indefinite tense. So सबसे पहली बात कि जब मैं present indefinite tense जब मैं आपको explain कर रहा था, right, I told you that present indefinite tense is used for habit, right, in present tense, and habitual action in present tense. So similarly, past, when it becomes past, when it becomes a part of past tense, we use, I mean, past indefinite tense is used to express past habit. Past habit को express करने के लिए हम past indefinite tense का use करते हैं. First इसमें आपका लिखा हुआ है an action that completed in the past, यानी past indefinite tense is also used to express an action that completed in the past. एक ऐसे action को define करने के लिए जो कभी past में complete हुआ था, but make sure कि इसमें time जरूर दिया होता है, right? What is given? Time is given, right? An action that completed in the past, time must be given. Time दिया होना चाहिए, जैसे कि the time can be any one of your adverb of time. कोई भी adverb of time like this can be written in the sentence, right? Like last, ago, yesterday, etc. That simply means there are some more adverbs of time like that, right? जो आपको sentence के last में मिल सकते हैं, और this sentence, especially these tag words as adverbs of time, when we see at the last of the sentence, we immediately conclude that this sentence is a part of past indefinite tense, right? So इस तरीके से हम past indefinite tense को दिए गए sentence में पहचान सकते हैं. Now this is why we use simple past tense, right? Past indefinite tense. Now here is the structure. So students, in the book, right, or in any of the books you have seen ever, or you have tried to learn tenses from, you must have seen that there is a quite, confusing way of telling the structure of the tenses. But here in this video I have just made the structure of this tense, not only of this tense but all the tenses that I will explain in this video or in the upcoming video, right? So इनमें मैंने क्या किया है, मैंने tenses का structure आपके लिए बहुत ज़्यादा easy, I have made it quite terse, काफ़ी छोटा मैंने आपके लिए इसको बना दिया है. Now you just need to pay attention to what I am saying here. अगर if your sentence falls in the category of affirmative sentences, अगर आपका sentence affirmative की category में fall करता है, so you just need to do what you need to use which form of verb, second form of verb, right? अभी हमने केवल verb की forms और उनके साथ use होने वाली helping verbs को ही समझेंगे, and your tense will just experience the change, उसमें change होता चला जाएगा. So affirmative tense sentence में we need to use what, second form of the verb. अगर आपका सेंटेंस इंटेरोगेटिव और नेगेटिव हो जाता है, सो इन द लास्ट वीडियो आई जस्ट पॉइंटेड इट आउट टू यू कि एनी ऑफ द सेंटेंस which is either negative or interrogative, such a sentence can never ever be formed without the use of helping verb, right? So ऐसा sentence means या तो negative हो या interrogative हो, आप उसे बिना helping verb की सहायता के students कभी बना ही नहीं सकते हो, right? या वो कभी आपको दिखेगा ही नहीं. So there is to be applied a helping verb. And what is the helping verb of present past indefinite tense? Helping verb of past indefinite tense is did, right? So जब मैं आपको present indefinite बता रहा था, so I told you at that time that what are the helping verbs of present indefinite tense. I told you about the helping verbs of present indefinite tense. So helping of present indefinite tense are your do and does, right? So do or does हम present indefinite में use करते हैं as helping verbs, but past में we use what, did use करते हैं, ठीक है? So always make it a point कि without help of did you cannot frame either negative sentence or interrogative sentence. So the rule is quite easy now. Let me just summarize this rule for you. If your sentence is affirmative, use second form. This is the rule. If your sentence goes negative or interrogative, you just need to use did with first form. Means if your sentence is negative, you need to say did not, and in affirmative we use second form, but in negative or interrogative we use first form. Means did is followed by first form of the verb. ठीक है भाई? So it is quite easy, right? You just do not need to say subject, verb, object, subject, second form, verb, object. So you just do not need to follow this kind of pattern, right? I have made this pattern quite easy for you. If sentence is affirmative, use second form. If sentence is negative, interrogative, use did plus V1, right? Sentence is negative, say did not. If it is interrogative, take did before subject. Okay, I have written here two examples. The boy brushed his teeth daily. So can you find out the adverb of time here? Yes, you are right. Adverb of time here is daily. Is it clear? So daily, it shows this verb, second form of verb shows that this action actually took place in past. So the boy brushed his teeth daily, that means this is an action that he used to do in the past, right? But if I say the boy brushes, in place of D, if I use S, this becomes present indefinite tense, and it shows habit in present tense. And this shows what? Habit in past tense. It shows habit in past tense. Is it clear? Now, second example is he met his brother last week. So what is the adverb of time here, students? Adverb of time in this sentence is last week, right? So last is the word which shows an incident of the past, right? So this sentence also goes into past tense, right? And the time is given here, adverb of time. So here we have used second form of verb. We have used what? We have used second form of verb, right? So in both these sentences we have used second form of verb, and this is what kind of sentence, students? This is affirmative sentence. This is what? Affirmative. Okay, now I just want to know if you need to transform this sentence into negative, what will you say? The boy did not brush his teeth daily. That's right. The boy did not brush his teeth daily. So in place of brush, we will not only say the boy not brush, we will say did not. Because I said कि interrogative or negative sentence without helping verb के नहीं form किए जा सकते, right? So you need to use what? Did. Right. So the boy did not brush his teeth daily. Similarly, he did not meet. In place of met, we will use what? Meet, because I said first form will be used. So he did not meet his brother last week, right? Okay, now let us transform this sentence into interrogative. If we say the boy brushed his teeth daily, the interrogative will be did, which we are using after the subject, right? When we frame negative, we say he did not, and in place of brushed, we would use what? Brush only, right? So here what we will do, we will just take this helping verb before the subject, and we will say did the boy brush his teeth daily, and a question mark will be placed at the last of the sentence, right? So similarly we can transform this sentence into interrogative, and we will say what? Did he meet his brother last week? The question mark will be placed at the last of the sentence. So students, this is what our past indefinite tense says. Means whenever we are referring to any action which took place in the past, when you are saying something affirmatively, use second form, and when you are negating something, when you are showing denial, right? So just use not, but not will not be used alone. It will be used with what? It will be used with did not. That's right. So let's move on to past continuous tense now. So students, here we have past continuous tense on the board. Now just take a look at that. Past continuous tense is basically used for continuity of an action. I just told you this in the last video, right? So past continuous tense का हम use basically continuity of action के लिए हम करते हैं. Means when the action is in progress, right? तो हम continuity of action के लिए करते हैं, but in which tense? In past tense, right? Because it is past continuous tense. So there are many actions which are actually going on at the time of speaking, either in present time, past time or future time, right? So यहाँ हम पास्ट टाइम की बात कर रहे हैं, तो ऐसा एक्शन जो पास्ट में हो रहा था, ऐसे एक्शन के लिए वी यूज पास्ट कंटीन्यूअस टेंस. आइडेंटिफिकेशन ऑफ दिस टेंस इज at that time, then those days. Means you will find these group of words or words written at the end of the sentences, right? At that time, then, and those days. In present continuous tense, we find what? We find at this time, now, these days, right? Still, like these words. So जब कभी we find these words written in the sentence, so we just conclude that this is a part of past continuous tense, because these words are used in those sentences only which express the action in progress, right? Especially in which time? Past time. So students, again, the structure, when I just explained the structure of simple past tense to you, I told that it was the simplest structure that I told you. It is the simplest structure that I'm telling you about for past continuous tense, right? So structure is was, were, V1 plus ing. For present tense, we use which verbs? We use ismr. For past tense, we use was, were, right? And ing is always used for what? For an action which is in continuous state, right? For progress. When the action is in progress, we always use V1 plus ing. Always make it a point, students. जब कभी भी एक्शन आपका प्रोग्रेस में चल रहा है, तो उसके लिए आप हमेशा फर्स्ट फॉर्म प्लस ing फॉर्म का यूज करते हैं, राइट? सो दिस इज द वेरी स्मॉलेस्ट स्ट्रक्चर, राइट? Very easiest structure. Now one is the structure. Then there is other uses of past continuous tense, that is for two actions taking place at the same time in the past, right? जब दो actions past में एक साथ हो रहे थे, right? Two actions were in progress and both the actions were going on simultaneously, right? एक साथ चल रहे थे, उसके लिए we just use past continuous tense, right? And both the actions are translated into past continuous tense, ठीक है? इसमें while जो conjunction है उसका use हम करते हैं. I have written one example for this. You can just take a look at that, right? Now there is second condition where we use past continuous tenses, that when there are two actions, right? One action is complete and the other action seems to be in continuity, seems to be in progress, right? In the past tense we use this format, means when के साथ we use second form of the verb and the other clause is formed into past continuous tense, right? Now just take a look at the examples given below. So our first example for this tense is, those days I was doing a bachelor degree from DU. Students, DU here means Delhi University. Is that clear? This is Delhi University. This is the abbreviation for Delhi University, DU. So those days I was doing what? I was doing, this is the past continuous tense helping verb and this is the verb, means ing form of the verb. So I was doing a bachelor degree means those days my action of doing a bachelor degree was in progress, right? The action of doing a degree was in progress, right? So this falls into the category of past continuous tense, and here this helping verb was doing refers to past continuous tense. Now the second example, I was playing while they were studying, right? I was playing while they were studying. As I told you, when two actions are going on at the same time, right, in the past, and these actions are in progress, we use while as conjunction, and both the sentences, right, this one is your principal clause and this one is your subordinate clause. So both of your sentences, principal as well as subordinate, दोनों ही sentences आपके past continuous tense में frame होते हैं, ठीक है भाई? So this is your past continuous tense, right? So दोनों ही action, both the actions are taking place at the same time, means the action of my playing and action of their studying, both are going on at the same time. So here we have third point. Third example, when I saw him, he was watering the plants. Now there are two actions taking place in this sentence. The first action is saw, right? The first action is saw, means see. So my action of seeing is now over, complete in the past. So I used what? Second form. An action that completed in the past, we use what? Past indefinite tense, second form. So this is past indefinite tense. But when I saw him, the action of his watering the plants was going on, right? उसका action जो था plant को water करने का, पानी देने का, that was in progress, वो हो रहा था. So that is why I have used past continuous tense in this clause, right? So यहाँ पर action C करने का complete हुआ, but यहाँ पर progress में था उस time पर, जब मैंने देखा था तो उस समय पर ये action चल रहा था. So that is why I have used past continuous tense. और इसके लिए जो structure हमारे पास है वो ये structure है, right? So you just need to follow this structure. When, second form, and the other clause if, only if the action was in progress, right? अगर action progress में था तभी हम ये use करेंगे, अगर action progress में नहीं है तो हम इसको use नहीं करेंगे. कुछ ऐसे tenses भी आएंगे past perfect में, हम सीखेंगे कि when के साथ second form लगता है तो हम यहाँ पर had के साथ V3 भी लगा देते हैं, right? तो वो मैं आपको तब एक्सप्लेन करूंगा कि हम when के साथ अगर सेकंड फॉर्म यानी पास्ट इंडेफिनिट का यूज कर रहे हैं तो इसके बाद में कॉन्टिन्यूस नहीं आएगा, तो उसके लिए एक रीजन अलग है. बट यहाँ पर द रीजन इज क्वाइट सिंपल, दैट इफ द एक्शन इज इन प्रोग्रेस, राइट, सो वी यूज वर्ड पास्ट कॉन्टिन्यूस टेंस. सो स्टूडेंट्स, पास्ट कॉन्टिन्यूस टेंस हमारा यहाँ पे कंप्लीट हुआ, राइट? नाउ लेट अस मूव ऑन टू पास्ट परफेक्ट. सो पास्ट परफेक्ट टेंस is basically used for an action that completed before another action in past. Okay, students, यहाँ पर मैं आपको एक चीज पहले क्लियर कर देता हूँ कि past perfect tense जो है वो मोस्टली एक ही कंडीशन में यूज होता है, राइट? और इसकी कंडीशन ये है कि past perfect tense will be used when there took place two actions in the past. कभी भी past में दो एक्शन हुए, राइट? अगर दोनों एक साथ चल रहे थे, प्रोग्रेस में थे, तो हमने पास्ट कॉन्टिन्यूस टेंस का यूज किया, व्हाइल कंजंक्शन लगाया, राइट? लेकिन अगर दो एक्शन पास्ट में कंप्लीट हुए, कोई भी दो एक्शन पास्ट में कंप्लीट हुए, प्रोग्रेशन में नहीं थे, कंप्लीट हुए, सो व्हेन टू एक्शंस कंप्लीटेड इन द पास्ट वी जस्ट नीड टू डिटरमिन व्हिच एक्शन टुक प्लेस फर्स्ट एंड व्हिच एक्शन टुक प्लेस लेटर, राइट? तो हमें ये देखना होगा कि कौन सा एक्शन पहले हुआ और कौन सा एक्शन बाद में हुआ. सो इसके बेसिस पे हम पास्ट परफेक्ट टेंस का यूज करते हैं, राइट? आई विल एक्सप्लेन दीज थिंग्स टू यू इन अ मोर इजी वे. सो फॉर एन एक्शन दैट कंप्लीटेड बिफोर अनदर एक्शन इन पास्ट, राइट, दैट सिंपली मीन्स कि पास्ट में दो एक्शन हुए, दोनों में से जो पहले हुआ और कौन सा बाद में हुआ ये डिटरमिन करना है, उसके बेसिस पे पास्ट परफेक्ट टेंस का यूज होगा. अभी हम बात करते हैं कि स्ट्रक्चर क्या होता है, व्हाट इज द स्ट्रक्चर? सो द स्ट्रक्चर सेज we need to use had plus V3. In present perfect tense we used what? Has or have, right? But in past tense we use what? Had plus V3. Means past form of has or have is had. Has और have की past form क्या होती है? Had होती है. So past के लिए हमने had plus V3 यूज किया. Simple thing, right? अब हम आगे बढ़ते हैं. अब हम थोड़ा स्ट्रक्चर का रूल समझते हैं. अभी मैंने आपको ये बताया, right? I told you कि when there took place two actions in the past. जब पास्ट में दो एक्शन हुए, सपोज दिस इज एक्शन नंबर 1 एंड दिस इज एक्शन नंबर 2. दो एक्शन हुए. नाउ वी जस्ट नीड टू फाइंड आउट विच एक्शन टुक प्लेस फर्स्ट. मानो ये एक्शन पहले हुआ और ये बाद में हुआ, तो पहले वाले एक्शन के साथ वी ऑलवेज यूज पास्ट परफेक्ट टेंस, राइट? आई रिपीट, द एक्शन विच टुक प्लेस फर्स्ट, राइट? With this action we use what? We use past perfect tense, and the action that took place after this we use second form, means simple past tense, past indefinite. So जब दो एक्शन पास्ट में हुए उस सेंस में हम दो टेंस को यूज करते हैं, या तो हम दोनों टेंस यूज होंगे, पास्ट परफेक्ट भी और पास्ट इंडेफिनिट भी. लेकिन जो एक्शन पहले होगा उसके लिए पास्ट परफेक्ट, जो बाद में होगा उसके लिए पास्ट इंडेफिनिट, राइट? अभी यहाँ पर आप देखिए, जस्ट टेक अ लुक हियर. हियर I have written two conjunctions. दो conjunction मैंने आपके सामने लिखे हैं. First one is before, second one is after. So before and after both are used as conjunctions, right? They just join two sentences, right? So दो sentences को जोड़ते हैं. तो अभी basically we just conclude कि ऐसे sentences जिनके अंदर before और after जैसे conjunction use होते हैं, so before से पहले आने वाला sentence जो है उसका जो action है वो माना जाता है कि that completes first, और that is complete first. वो पहले खत्म होता है और उसके बाद आने वाला जो एक्शन है बाद में खत्म होता है. ठीक है, इसको we'll just try to understand it with few examples, right? I have written two examples here, you can see, right? अगर conjunction, if your conjunction turns to be after, अगर आपका conjunction after हो जाता है, तो after से पहले वाला जो एक्शन है, यानी after की क्लॉज से, after conjunction से पहले आने वाली क्लॉज जो है उसका जो एक्शन होता है वो पहले नहीं होता है, वो बाद में कंप्लीट होता है. उसके लिए हम पहले वाले ये वाला जो एक्शन है इसके लिए पास्ट इंडेफिनिट यूज करते हैं. ओके, नाउ लेट्स नॉट गेट कंफ्यूज्ड. सो आओ एग्जांपल्स को देखते हैं. ये एक रूल और मैंने यहाँ लिखा है, आई विल एक्सप्लेन दिस लेटर. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल रीड दिस एग्जांपल, फर्स्ट वन. द चाइल्ड हैड जंप्ड ऑफ द बिल्डिंग बिफोर आई रीच्ड हिम, राइट? अब सबसे पहला, द फर्स्ट थिंग दैट वी आर सपोज्ड टू डू इन दिस सेंटेंस इज टू फाइंड आउट द एक्शंस. हमें एक्शन फाइंड आउट करने हैं, कितने एक्शन हो रहे हैं भाई, ठीक है? तो पहला एक्शन जो हमारे पास हो रहा है वो हो रहा है हैड जंप्ड, ठीक है भाई? ये हमारा फर्स्ट एक्शन हो गया. नाउ लेट अस मूव ऑन टू द सेकंड एक्शन. सेकंड एक्शन भी हमारा हो गया रीच्ड, ठीक है भाई? सो वी आर नाउ एबल टू पिक आउट दीज टू एक्शंस. अच्छा, अब सेंटेंस को पढ़ो, जस्ट मेक अ सेंस आउट ऑफ दिस सेंटेंस एंड ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड व्हिच एक्शन आउट ऑफ दीज टू टुक प्लेस फर्स्ट. सबसे पहली सेंस आती है कि बच्चा छत से कूदा, राइट? मेरे वहां पहुंचने से पहले. सो टू एक्शंस टुक प्लेस इन द पास्ट, मेरे वहां पहुंचने का और बच्चे के छत से कूदने का, राइट? चाइल्ड जंपिंग ऑफ द बिल्डिंग एंड माई रीचिंग देयर. दो एक्शन हुए, दोनों में से कौन सा एक्शन पहले हो गई? बिफोर आई रीच हिम, मैं उससे पहले पहुंचा, मैं उसके पास पहुंचने से पहले ही बच्चा कूद गया, यानी कि मेरा पहुंचने का काम जो है बाद में हुआ, राइट? सो चाइल्ड हैड जंप्ड ऑफ द बिल्डिंग बिफोर आई रीच्ड हिम, ठीक है? मैं उसके पास पहुंचा, उससे पहले ही बच्चा कूद गया. सो एक्शन विच दिस एक्शन टुक प्लेस बिफोर दिस वन, इससे पहले ये एक्शन हुआ. तो क्योंकि ये एक्शन पहले हुआ इसलिए मैंने इसके साथ पास्ट परफेक्ट टेंस यूज किया, एज योर रूल सेज, जैसा कि आपका रूल कहता है, ठीक है भाई? और दिस एक्शन एक्चुअली बाद में हुआ, टुक प्लेस बाद में हुआ. सो आई हैव यूज्ड व्हाट विद दिस एक्शन? Past indefinite tense. This is the second form of verb. Is that clear, students? I hope that this point is understandable to you now, right? एक एग्जाम्पल और ले लेते हैं. एक बहुत ही कॉमन सा एग्जाम्पल which is used to explain this tense is the patient had died before the doctor reached, right? So डॉक्टर के पहुंचने से पहले पेशेंट मर चुका था. Then there is the train had left, sorry, the train had left before I reached the station. ये भी before का एग्जाम्पल हो गया. एक आफ्टर का एग्जाम्पल हम लेते हैं. जैसे कि द डिलीवरी मैन dropped the parcel after I had left my home, right? The delivery man dropped the parcel after I had left my home. दो एक्शन इस सेंटेंस में हो रहे हैं भाई. पहला हो रहा है आपका, मैं इस एग्जांपल को लिख देता हूँ. डिलीवरी मैन ड्रॉप द पार्सल मीन्स फर्स्ट एक्शन आपका हुआ ड्रॉपिंग का. डिलीवरी मैन ने ड्रॉपिंग किया, ड्रॉप किया पार्सल को, और आफ्टर आई हैड लेफ्ट, और एक हुआ काम मेरा लीव करने का, राइट, लीविंग का एक्शन हुआ. सो दो एक्शन आपके इस सेंटेंस में हुए. कौन सा एक्शन भाई पहले हुआ? सो द डिलीवरी मैन ड्रॉप द पार्सल आफ्टर आई हैड लेफ्ट. उसने पार्सल कब ड्रॉप किया? पहले मेरा जाने का काम हुआ, उसके बाद उसने पार्सल घर पे ड्रॉप किया. ठीक है भाई. तो पहले काम क्या हुआ? मैं चला गया था, उसके बाद उसने पार्सल ड्रॉप किया. तो मेरा जाने का काम पहले हुआ. दैट इज व्हाई आई एम सेइंग कि द डिलीवरी मैन ड्रॉप्ड, यहाँ पास्ट इंडेफिनिट लगाया है. द डिलीवरी मैन ड्रॉप्ड द पार्सल आफ्टर आई हैड लेफ्ट होम, जब मैंने घर छोड़ दिया था, राइट. सो यहाँ पर आफ्टर के बाद हमने बेसिकली हैड के साथ V3 का यूज किया है. अगर आप ज्यादा कंफ्यूज नहीं होना चाह रहे हो, सो यू जस्ट नीड टू लर्न दिस सिंपल रूल. बिफोर एंड आफ्टर, यू जस्ट नीड टू यूज बिफोर. बिफोर से पहले हैड V3, बिफोर के बाद V2. अब इसका आपका अपोजिट हो जाएगा आफ्टर का. ठीक है भाई. बहुत छोटा सा वेरी सिंपल रूल. अच्छा, अब हम नेक्स्ट वाले की तरफ आते हैं. When I was explaining to you the past continuous tense, मैंने आपको बताया था कि when के साथ अगर V2 होता है और अगर एक्शन प्रोग्रेस में हो तो हम past continuous tense को सिलेक्ट करते हैं, राइट. बट हियर जब एक्शन आपका दो एक्शन हुए और ये वाला एक्शन आपका पहले हो गया, जो भी एक्शन पहले हुआ उसके लिए हम पास्ट परफेक्ट लगाएंगे. अच्छा, यहाँ एक्शन प्रोग्रेस में नहीं है, दोनों ही पास्ट में कंप्लीट हुए. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, when I reached there, राइट, जब मैं वहां पहुंचा, he had left, वह जा चुका था, राइट. सो दो एक्शन पास्ट में हुए. सो जब मैं वहां पहुंचा वह जा चुका था. विच एक्शन टेक प्लेस फर्स्ट? दिस एक्शन टुक प्लेस फर्स्ट, राइट. उसके जाने का काम पहले हुआ, उसके बाद में वहां पहुंचा. ठीक है भाई. तो ये वाला एक्शन आपका पहले हुआ है, फर्स्ट एक्शन, इसके साथ पास्ट परफेक्ट लगाया. ये आपका सेकंड एक्शन है, इसके साथ पास्ट इंडेफिनिट लगाया. सो स्टूडेंट्स, दिस वे वी यूज पास्ट परफेक्ट टेंस. कभी कभी सेंटेंस ऐसा आता है जिसके अंदर आपके दो एक्शन होते ही नहीं है, right? There is only one action given in the sentence and still we choose what? Past perfect tense. ऐसे sentences के लिए what happens कि context of the time is given somewhere, right? But it is not visible to us. Content दिया होता है, context दिया होता है. For example, जैसे मैं कह दूं कि I am just having a conversation with my friend and I'm telling कि उसके इस काम को करने से पहले मैंने वो कर दिया था. ठीक है. My friend asks me, you just did not give me that food. I will say, no, I had given it to you. I had given it to you. मैं जब बोल रहा हूँ I had given it to you, that simply means कि ऐसा काम होने से पहले मैंने वो चीज कर दी थी. So यहाँ context टाइम का है but it is hidden. वो हिडन है. तो जब ऐसे कंटेक्स्ट हिडन होते हैं, राइट, सो इन दैट केस ऑल्सो वी यूज पास्ट परफेक्ट टेंस. कंडीशन यही होती है, बस उसके अंदर कंटेक्स्ट थोड़ा हाइड कर दिया जाता है, राइट. सो दिस इज द एक्सप्लेनेशन ऑफ पास्ट परफेक्ट टेंस. नाउ वी हैव द लास्ट एंड द रिमेनिंग वन, दैट इज past perfect continuous tense. Okay students, now we have the last tense, and this last tense, for tense number 4 of the past, is past perfect continuous tense, right? So students, what is the difference between past continuous and past perfect continuous? I told you in the first video कि past perfect and past continuous and past perfect continuous, there is a slight difference, and the difference is of time, right? There is a reference of time given in past perfect continuous tense, right? Means perfect continuous tense के अंदर reference दिया जाता है time के लिए, right? This is the only difference between continuous and past perfect continuous. So here an action that started in the past, एक ऐसा action जो कभी past में शुरू हुआ and was still in progress or was still going on, जो past में अभी भी चल ही रहा था. ठीक है. Means an action that started somewhere in the past and was still in progress, जो अभी भी progress में था, right? ऐसे action को define करने के लिए we use past perfect tense. Structure says has or have, we use what? In place of has or have, we use what? We use had, right? Has have is used for which tense? For present tense. So here we use had. What do we use? Had, right? So had been plus V1 ing, and before the time which is given we use either since or for, right? Or the use of since of for I explained to you in the first video, right? So you just need to remember that, you just need to learn that rule of the uses of since of for, right? So we just need to take the helping verb as had, and been is used, and along with been we use first form plus ing, and before the time either we use since or for. So here we have one example given. So the example says he had been living in that house when I met him last. So this when I met him last actually tells about the tense, means gives the reference to past time, right? It gives past reference. So ये past reference दे रहा है और ये हमें पता है कि action कभी शुरू हुआ था. Okay, there is one thing missing, right? Can you remember what? Can you just find out what is the thing that is missing in this sentence? He had been living in that house when I met him last. So when I met him last, he had been living in that house, right? If we want, we can write he had been living in that house since 2019, right? वह उस घर में 2019 से रह रहा था जब मैं उसे last time मिला था, right? Maybe I met him 1 month back or maybe 2 months back, right? So here there is a reference to time since 2019, and this clause just gives us the reference to past tense. ये हमें past time का reference दे रहा है जिससे कि हम ये choice choose कर सकें कि ये past perfect continuous में action जाएगा, right? So when did the action actually start? The action start in 2019 and it was still going on, right? It was still going on in the past, not now. Maybe that person has now shifted to some other place, right? Maybe at present time that person may have shifted to some other place, but when I met him last, he was living in that house, right? He had been living in that house since 2019, right? So students, past perfect continuous or past perfect continuous, future perfect continuous tenses are rarely used, right? But except this one, all the tenses are mostly used, so you should practice of such kind of sentences, right? You just need to do one thing. You just need to learn the structure of a particular sentence. You just need to learn the identification. You just need to learn the uses, and then it is quite easy for you. The sentence will be on your fingertips, and as well as you will just quite quickly get the essence of the sentence, and you will just fill up, right? The fill in the blank with the correct form of verb, right? Easily. So students, with this I come to an end with this lecture, right? And very soon I'll be back with the third part of this lecture, tense. Thank you very much.